The Japanese syllabary is called the
Gojuuon,
which means 50 sounds, or other syllables. They did used to be 50, but the language has changed, and some characters are no longer used. Besides, syllable combinations and special diacritics are used for the writing of additional columns, which we are going to discuss later. Before you have learned the hiragana and the katakana symbols, we will use the latent transcription, romaji, for your convenience. It is extremely important to remember how to read it correctly. Not every Japanese sound has an equivalent in English, so it is impossible to remain precise when putting them down in Latin writing. So, let us agree on the pronunciation of these special sounds. Let us start with the first column. This symbol is an easy one. Repeat after me.
a,
Now, stretch your lips as if you were smiling for a photo and say
I,
Now, a difficult sound. Do not try to say it like the English oo. Open your mouth very slightly and try to say
U,
without circling your lips or putting them forward. The sound
E,
is pronounced as
E,
the sound
O,
is pronounced almost like the English one. The difference is that the lips are a bit less circled.
O,
Now, let's try to read once again. Repeat after me.
A, I, U, E, O.
In Japanese, vowel length plays an important part because it can change the meaning of words. Making the vowels short or long results in how you are understood. For instance,
Oi,
means nephew, while
Oi,
is a lot,
Soko,
means there, while
Soko.
is warehouse. Long vowels must have a larger duration to be recognized as such. For syllables ending with vowels
A, I, U, E,
and
O.
we will use a double letter. For syllables ending with vowel,
O,
we will use the letter
U.
in romaji transcription. In the writing lesson, you will learn to show vowel length with Japanese characters. Let's have some practice. Repeat after me.
A, I, U, E, O, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, so, to, ho, mo.
Now, let us try to pronounce sound combinations. Please note that the
I,
sound usually turns into
U,
at the end of a word. Raise your voice at the capital letters. That's the pitch accent. So, repeat after me.
ai, au, aoi, ie, iu, ou, oi, uo, ue.
The syllables of the second column start with the sound
Ka,
which is the same as its English counterpart. Let's try to read the column, keeping in mind what we already know about the vowels. Repeat after me.
ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
And words.
Kaki, kiku, iku, ike, koko.
There is a voiced version of this column, which starts with the voiced consonant
Gu.
It is important that if these syllables are in the middle of a word between two vowels, they are pronounced nasally. Let's practice both versions, the oral and the nasal. Please note that the transcription does not reflect this in any way at all. You must remember the rule. If the
gu,
sound is between two vowels, it gets nasalized. In the written lesson, you will learn how to mark voiced consonants in Japanese scripts. So,
ga, nga, gi, ni, gu, ngu, ge, nge, go, ngo.
and now some words.
Eiga, igi, aogu, genki, goi.
The syllables of the third column begin with the sound S, which is pronounced like the English S, all the syllables but one, this one. Sometimes it is transcribed as SI, but let us agree that we will spell it as SH and I. Let us read the column, keeping in mind what we already know about the vowels. Repeat after me.
Sa, shi, su, se, so.
And now some words.
Sasu, ishi, sushi, ase, osoi.
This column also has a voiced version. Here it is. How to write voiced consonants in the Japanese script will be discussed a little later. For now, we are going to use only the latent transcription. Remember the correct pronunciation of vowels and repeat after me.
Za, ji, zu, ze, zo.
And now some words.
Jiki, shizuka, kaze, zo.
In the next column, the syllables start with the sound T, which is pronounced the same in every syllable but two. This one. Let us agree what we will spell it as CHI and say it not as
Ti,
and not as
chi,
but as something in between. This way.
chi.
Try to say it as if with a lisp, making the T very soft.
Chi,
And this one.
tsu,
Please note that combined with the vowel U, T turns into tsu, and so we have the
tsu.
syllable in the column. Let's now read the syllables, keeping in mind the pronunciation of vowels. Repeat after me.
Ta, chi, tsu, te, to.
And now, some words.
Tatsu, kachi, atsui, katei, ato.
This column also has a voiced version. Here it is. The syllables here start with the sound D, except its combination with U, where the voiced consonant is the same as it was for syllable
Su, zu.
For reading purposes, we only provide the transcription here. Remember the pronunciation of vowels and repeat after me.
Da, ji, zu, de, do.
And now some words.
大学、地震、どこ。
In the next column, the syllables start with the sound an, pronounced the same as in English. Remember the pronunciation of vowels and repeat after me.
な、に、ぬ、ね、の。
And now some words.
なに、かに、ぬの、猫、あの。
In the next column, the syllables start with the sound H, pronounced as an unvoiced aspiration without effort. This sound is the beginning of all the syllable but this one. Try to say
ふ、
putting your lips forward as if blowing on hot tea. Listen closely and repeat after me. keeping in mind the pronunciation of vowels.
は、ひ、ふ、へ、ほ。
This column has both a voiced and an unvoiced version. The hiragana and the katakana use special diacritics to distinguish between the voice and the unvoiced version, while the transcription simply has a separate column for each. Listen closely and repeat after me, and remember the pronunciation of vowels.
ば、び、ぶ、べ、ぼ。ぱ、ぴ、ぷ、ぺ、ぽ。
In the next column, the syllables start with the sound M, pronounced the same as the English M. Repeat after me and remember the pronunciation of vowels.
ま、み、む、め、も。
In the next column, two of the symbols have disappeared in the course of history, so we only have 3 syllables instead of 5, and they are iotized. They are
や、
transcribed as shown, then
ゆ、
transcribed as shown, and finally
よ、
transcribed as shown. Repeat after me.
や、ゆ、よ。
And now some words.
やよい、夢、読む。
If the hiragana and the katakana symbols corresponding to these syllables are written in a smaller font together with the symbols for the syllables ending in I, their combination will denote the following additional syllables. Repeat after me, and remember the pronunciation of vowels.
きゃ、きゅ、きょ。ぎゃ、ぎゅ、ぎょ。しゃ、しゅ、しょ。ちゃ、ちゅ、ちょ。じゃ、じゅ、じょ。にゃ、にゅ、にょ。みゃ、みゅ、みょ。ひゃ、ひゅ、ひょ。びゃ、びゅ、びょ。ぴゃ、ぴゅ、ぴょ。りゃ、りゅ、りょ。
As I said before, all the syllables can be either short or long. This affects the meaning. For example,
兄弟、
brothers and sisters,
兄弟。
huge,
証拠、
proof,
書庫。
an archive,
強化、
reinforcement, amplification,
許可。
permission. In this column, the syllables start with a sound that is quite unusual for an English speaker. It is transcribed as R. Do not try to say it like the rhotic R. What you need to do is press the tip of your tongue to the alveolar ridge so as not to let the air in between, and then quickly sweep the tip of your tongue back. If you press it to the alveolar ridge too strong or too long, you will get the L sound. What you need to achieve is something in between the L, R, and the D sounds. It is because of this sound that the Japanese often fail to distinguish between the L and the R when learning foreign languages. So let's try it. Repeat after me.
ら、り、る、れ、ろ。
And now some words.
ラクダ、あり、ある。これ、廊下。
In this column, the syllables start with familiar sound, V. The column only has 2 syllables. Repeat after me.
わ、お。
The letter of the 2 occurs in Japanese only as the indicator of the direct object. And now some words.
指輪、悪い、ワニ。
Finally, the last element of the Japanese syllabary.
ん。
It never starts a word, so it is found only in the middle or at the end of a word, and it is often part of another syllables. Learn the following 2 rules. Rule 1. Before n, m, p, b, it sounds as m and is transcribed as m. Rule 2. When it is followed by the sound h, f, like
ha, hi, hu, he, ho,
the sound h may turn either into b or into p. So, listen and repeat.
乾杯、幹部、